Hello and welcome to the latest market update with me, Andrew Dawkins, and
Myself, Daniel Bajwoluk. How was last month, Andrew?
April.
April was yes. It's gone quick, hasn't it?
It has, isn't it? Easter and all
Uh-huh.
that. Well, I don't know. I think it may be an idea perhaps to replay last month's video. It's virtually the same, I think, where we had markets getting excited, FTSE reaching sort of almost new heights for the last 6 months, and the smaller companies as well doing reasonably well. And then we had a bit more of a banking debacle in the USA with another bank going under, having to be rescued by JPM, and we're starting all over again. So a bit of a mixed month.
So a replay of last month, but were there any highlights?
Well, actually, when we finished April, the portfolio investments and most of the investment funds we recommend were actually in positive territory, which is good.
Yes.
So that's twice now this year we've seen that, which perhaps suggests that things are gradually getting better. We've still got the issue of central bankers raising interest rates. Last month, the Bank of Australia decided to keep rates as they were, but then end of April decided to increase them again. So I don't know. I think their nerve went a wee bit, perhaps they were rattled by their neighbours in the Kiwi Islands, sort of taking the mickey and saying, no, look, we're going to run ballsy like this. So we're still getting the constant call for, this could be the last rate increase. The difficulty is, though, when they keep interest rate rises going on and on and on, the market doesn't know when they're going to end, but it also causes difficulty then at the credit side of things. And the prediction is that companies in particular who rely to a large extent on credit could start to feel a bit of a squeeze as higher interest rates mean that the cost of borrowing becomes more expensive, but also the amount of credit available weakens as well. So I'm expecting one or two companies that are heavily indebted to perhaps fail. So one of the tactics that the central banks adopt is to try and make companies fail, because that then will mean unemployment, people losing their jobs, and then inflation will fall, which is a bit of a crazy way of doing things, as we've said many times before. The highlight of the month was probably the property funds. A lot of the property funds, especially the global ones that we recommend, increased quite nicely. So the biggest one that we look after rose 4% last month. Compare that to a couple of months ago when it fell 5%. So you're still a bit there. Way to go. Yeah. Fixed interest, so lending money to the UK government, because of the chance that the interest rates will go up here, that saw the biggest fall in value this month. We had a rise last month, but then we get a fall this month in April. So lending money to the government, lending money to companies, whether here in the UK or in Europe or worldwide, is still what we regard as a bit of a high risk strategy. Whereas before 2009, many people saw fixed interest, and still do, which is quite amazing, as a low risk area for investing. Whereas we say, well, the amount of credit in the world, coupled with inflation and increasing interest rates from the central bankers, mean that it's sort of a very precarious sector to be in. Whereas the equity side has actually given a better return over the last wee while, and probably long term as well, continue to do so.
So given the way things are going, what's the sentiment around the world, you would say, with regards to markets?
I think it's probably starting to improve, which is good. We've met with a few fund managers in April. I think we're starting to see a glimmer of optimism, which is long overdue and long missed. It's the first time that many of the managers have said actually they're increasing their allocation, especially to emerging markets, so over the Far East. And also Europe has done very well compared to the US. The US with the constant rate increases, starting to see now confidence coming under a little bit of pressure in terms of forward sales, that consumers are feeling the pinch now. So many rate increases are feeding through into their wallets. So, but I think generally it's a feeling of more optimistic sort of sense that it can't be any worse than it's been over the last wee while. So there is an increased, I feel, an increased appetite for risk amongst equity investors. And I think we're going to be in for I'd like to say, a positive year. So we'll finish up, hopefully, fingers crossed. There's still events that could change, obviously, as they always do. But generally, I think we feel in a better place. So let's keep our fingers crossed that when we do the next update, we have another positive month, which should be quite good to see.
And as we do every month, we look at the A.R.D. consultancy portfolios and the performance over the last month, last year, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. And we'll start with the defensive.
So over the last month, it's up 0.85%. Over a year, down by 4.1%. Over 3 years, down 5.6%. Over 5 years, up 12.4%. And 10 years, up 52.7%.
And moving to the cautious portfolio.
This month up 1.2%, year down 2.6%, over 3 years up 16%, 5 years were up 22.2%, and 10 years up around 80%.
And the balanced portfolio.
This month up 1.2%, over the year down 3.7%, over 3 years positive 21.3%, 5 years were up 29.4%, and 10 years 113.5%.
And the capital growth portfolio.
This month up 1.5%, over the year down 3.6%, over 3 years up 25%, 5 years up 32.3%, and 10 years 135.9% growth.
And finally, my favourite, the aggressive portfolio.
This month up 1.8%, over the year down 2.3%, over 3 years up 33.9%, 5 years were up 41.8%, and over 10 years 165.3% growth.